And it looks like we are live. Good evening, Crypto Crazy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's beautiful weather.
Yeah, it has been pretty good after the little bit of a cool weekend. And up here in Canada, we had our Canada Day long weekend. Canada Day was on the first, and today, as all of our American viewers know, it is U.S. Independence Day. We have Juan here. You can give us a little insight on that. But I'm doing well. Before we get going, don't forget, everyone, anything you hear on this stream is not financial advice. It's strictly for education and entertainment purposes only. We have our weekly guests, Chart Davidson and Juan. How are you guys doing?
Hi. Can't wait to see the little fireworks later on tonight. Enjoying time with the family, sipping on a beer.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
That's actually pretty tame. I've been drinking since July 1st, and so we're 4 days into that. So it's been fun, let me tell you. But yeah, doing really good right now.
Yeah. Oh, Canada.
Nice.
Oh,
Um,
Canada
Canada's right.
week. Canada week.
we will talk crypto, obviously, because this is a crypto channel, but we don't typically talk about politics, specifically U.S. politics. But as everyone knows, last Thursday was the debate. It's been talked about through every single news outlet and media there is, and we'd be remiss not to talk about it here. And since we have our token American, Juan, I'd like to get his opinion on his thoughts on the debate and the state of the political scene down in the U.S. Juan, let's hear some of your opinions.
It's tough right now with that debate when you kind of overlook at both candidates and what we're inheriting to choose between. Biden's really easy to kind of break down where, um, I'm more of a policy guy. I want to see what policies are going to come out. You're going to get a second chance. Why? Right? And I think he was just failing at attacking Trump. Let's just be honest, just failing at it. And whether you like Biden or not is irrelevant. I think it's just um, that's not what people turned into the debate for. They want to kind of listen to why things have changed or why you're getting the second chance for. And then you got on the second hand, you got Trump, where he's great at attacking people. But God forbid you ask him a question about real policy and what he's going to do. Like, I don't know. I'll figure something out. We're the best. I have the best plan. Well, what is it? It's going to be awesome. Just wait for it. So but the thing is that people already know that about him and they accept it. They're comfortable with that. The real trickery, I think, that's going to be happening soon is the Supreme Court decision on immunity and its effect on a convicted felon, right? Like now he's a felon. However, does it really count now if he has immunity? So if you can't advertise it, then what's the point? So
Mm.
I think America hasn't. I don't think America. If you look at the polls, a lot of polling goes on both sides. Where Biden gained 2 points, where Trump is up 6 in some polls. It just shows that the country is still divided, and I think they're questioning whether Biden should continue to run. Um, Honestly, like I said myself, I don't think that Biden should continue. I think there are better Democrats out there. But on the flip side, I don't think Trump should continue. I think there are better Republicans out there that can actually give a better voice to the conservative party. But at the end of the day, do the smart Americans really want to know what policies are going to be out there and how it's going to affect their lives and what the how it's going to affect their economy. But I think that it just becomes very clicky now, where policy doesn't matter for a lot of the majority of the Americans. It's just I want to join a clique, I want to join the winning side, and I'm just going to check the boxes that says Democrats or Republican, whatever they kind of want to vote for. I don't think there's a dark horse. Everybody's thinking John F. Kennedy's, well, not John F. Kennedy, but Mr. Kennedy's going to do something or affect the outcome of the election. But I, again, he wasn't even at the debate. So what effect can he possibly now achieve? So I think that the the next couple of weeks is not going to change much. because they moved the sentencing down to September. So at the end of the day, the ones who care about what's going to happen or continue to do research to the end of the day, kind of like how we do research for stocks and forex and crypto and meme coins, and others are just going to follow, right? They're going to have those sheep and believe whatever they're going to believe. And I think right now people just want to join a winning side. If we're talking about the next few months, I think that's the most important part. But debate-wise, it was a disaster.
That's putting it mildly.
I mean, even from the person asking the questions, you would think there would be some key follow-ups. Give me an example. Show me how. Tell me about what you. No, it's just, oh, okay. Next question.
Yeah, I think they were trying to limit Biden's input. They didn't want to have to make him think. Everyone saw exactly what was going on. It's unfortunate, and I know the Democrats they're torn right now because they want the Democratic Party to win, but I don't think now they finally realize that they probably can't do it with Biden at the helm. So they're in a tough spot. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there.
No, totally agree. And I feel sorry for even some of the Republicans who are. I think there's. You watch Fox News, and a lot of them are afraid to criticize Trump on anything. I think when they fact checked the debate, I think he told over 800 lies, or let me not use lies, right? Unfacts. Let's call them unfacts. And they don't want to raise those questions. I think they're afraid to get ousted, and it's just very indicative of the reality of where America is. Like, if you are part of the American economy and you work in a store, it's very similar, where you have people who have their opinions and their strengths and cares, but when it comes to accepting the truth, no, it's not going to happen. So I think that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Americans in come September, come November.
See, and also in Biden's defense, it is tough. Like, debates are tough anyway, but when you have a cold and you have jet lag and you missed your afternoon nap, it could be even tougher. So I kind of feel for him.
Oh, yeah. It is horrible. It's hard.
At this point, having Biden in office is just straight up elder abuse.
Yeah.
Like, any other person on this planet was put in that situation, people would be in an uproar, but it's okay to have that guy as president.
Yeah.
Talk
about elder abuse. See what his wife did after the debate?
I got to interject here. What do you guys expect from an 80-year-old? Okay?
82.
Like, do you actually expect an 80-year-old to even drive a car? I wouldn't. I would say to my dad, please stop driving. Now we want an 80-year-old to be running a country of this magnitude? Come on, guys. At this point, like, what are we doing? We're making fun of this old man.
You know the best part about
here's a novelty. Here's a novelty job
Trump's
in
up there
place.
too.
Here you go. Be a president. Congratulations. You put your time in. All right, now retire. No,
you answered all the questions.
Let me ask you a question then, because that's a good point, right? Do you want an 80-year-old guy driving a car? Does a 78-year-old make that much of a difference to you?
Nope.
So we're talking about 2-year difference.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. The candidates are shit, but the problem is that there's no alternatives. Like, no smart person is going to take on this role anymore. No. Right? They understand it's much better to be in the background. Like these senators, for example, that's the perfect role for somebody who's smart. Right? Gets into a senator position or a House representative position, and then becomes that role for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, because people just do not like change in general. And once they take on that role in that position, they will be in power forever. These guys can be in power for 8 years? That's not enough, right? So that's why smart people are just not going for these positions. You rarely see them. Vivek, whatever his last name is, I think he's going to be probably a good candidate to go ahead and be the nominee next time around. But I think right now for change, just in general, I think Trump should win this election.
Who did you mention that would be a good candidate, Chart?
Vivek.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. I like him. I like him.
Yeah, Black Cat was just in the chat.
Together.
Yeah, Black Cat was just in the chat saying his grandmother is about 89 and she drives just fine with a laughing face on. behind it.
You know,
So
with the three of
But you
us
know,
on here being Canadian and Juan being the only U.S., this, the bigger entertainment about this whole political scene in North America right now is the fact that we thought Canada was a shit show, and it is. Don't get me wrong, especially what happened with Toronto St. Paul's, the by-election. But now that the U.S. has kind of taken over that number one spot for a shit show in politics, I love it. It's entertainment.
it does definitely take away from your spotlight that you've held for a while, for
yeah,
sure.
it's a nice distraction.
Yeah.
But somebody said it best, right? You have a choice. You can have someone who's senile run a country surrounded hopefully by smart people, right?
Yeah.
Or you can have a tyrant who in the past surrounded himself by other felons. And that's the truth. Like everybody he's hired, are either in jail or going to jail or in trial for something.
Are we talking
And
about Hunter or who are we talking about now?
we're talking about your Lord and Master Trump, where his own VP has not come out to support him. Right? Pence? Why wouldn't Pence? Why? Because he knows him. He worked with him. So if and you got a picture like this, if you're going to interview somebody for a position, you do background checks and references.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is going to reference for Trump? What references he got? His own VP, his assistant manager is already rejecting him. So that just kind of gives you an insight to the choices we have. Because trust me, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, us being crypto people, you got to pick the lesser of two evil. And in this case, you got to go with I'm not necessarily saying Trump, but the Republicans in general, because Democrats are in trouble. And I don't know who they have, down the pipeline that could take over if Biden steps down or if he does go to term and then someone else runs the election. I have no idea. There's really nobody good. Chart, you mentioned Vivek, but I don't know if is he even a Democrat? I don't think he is.
He's Republican.
Yeah,
He's a Republican.
Yeah. So, and Trump's not going to step down. He's going to see this election through. So I don't know who the Democrats have waiting in the wings. You definitely can't have Kamala Harris. That's just a shit show, even worse than Biden.
The thing is, they don't have. You know what it is? It's like a battle of who's the most spontaneous, who's the most like TV personality worthy to be leading a group of people. And Trump is basically a WWE character.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's that kind of a guy. And he
who's
rallies
the best mascot?
that group all the time, right? So like people are drawn to him in that sense. There's nobody on the Democratic side ever to be just like that. Maybe Bill Clinton. That's as close as somebody was just like that, right?
Yeah.
Saxophone playing type of guy. Like that's cool, I think, as a president. But
yeah,
they don't have anybody, so it's really difficult. Kamala's not going to.
He was
do
getting
shit.
BJs and paying off women.
Sorry.
I said, yeah, Clinton was in there getting BJs, paying off women while he was president. So
yeah,
it's not much different.
More about it's just,
let's be honest. There's really nobody that fits the job. So really, they're only looking for a mascot, the face of the party. It's going to be the team behind them that's going to make all the decisions, just like they are now. So it's too bad. I mean, the U.S. has always been the most powerful country in the world, and the world is now seeing just how fragile the leader is, and it's unfortunate. And we're no better up here. I mean, we can't really say anything because we don't have. At least we have a good opposition. As one media, I think it was Fox, that said that Pierre Poilievre is the best opposition in the world in any country. So at least we have somebody that can take over and probably do a better job. But you guys down in the U.S., Juan, I feel bad for you. That's for sure. But I mean, us as crypto investors, we have to look at it, a little bit selfishly. We want to make sure, well, nothing we can do about it, but you guys down in the U.S., you got to make sure that whoever it is that's running the country, it sure would help if they were pro crypto, because it's one less obstacle that we have to worry about when it comes to regulation and when it comes to the space growing.
Yeah, and well, in the same sense, like when we do have the left-leaning governments and the inflation starts going rampant, it's absolutely fantastic for your portfolio, right? Because the devaluation of a dollar really jacks up the portfolio prices to an extreme amount. So it's not even so. It's for investors getting into the space. You want a good environment to be able to invest, to have the extra liquidity to invest. Like it's important, and then that brings up everything else. Like
Right.
for the people that have already been investing for years and years and years, inflation is just numbers, right? All right, I open up my bank account and things look fantastic, right? So
I think a lot of it though is perception, right? Like I think
Yeah.
if they go and say, hey, Republicans in power, we're all going to be richer, or the rich is going to be richer, right? And it's a perception, because when you look at, let's say, crypto, what crypto laws have they ever supported? Look up any Republican right now and tell me, hey, yeah, they voted for this. No. But then you have Democrats, same thing. They haven't done anything for crypto either. But
Well,
the
they got-
perception is that a Republican in power just means more money.
Right.
yeah, well,
You know?
from a political standpoint, as much as you're hearing it now when it's campaign season, I don't think any leader of a country is going to bet against their own dollar.
Oh, well,
You
yeah,
know what I
well,
mean?
there's some countries, right?
That's where things get weird, right? Because for a country to go and embrace cryptocurrency, that means you're giving up on your national currency at that point. So
Well, which country is running off Bitcoin right now? Isn't there Venezuela?
yeah, and that was after so much hyperinflation that it cost you $5 million for a stick of gum, right? So
Yeah, how much it cost? Well, how much?
So
how much
basic-
does that
basically,
government make now,
yeah.
though?
well, exactly. It's a positive thing, but not all countries are in that place yet. You know, we
Right.
got some severe inflation, but we don't have the hyperinflation where every day your dollar's devaluing another 100%, or 99%. So
Yeah, the
we're
biggest
not
problem,
there
though,
yet, but it's coming. If
the
policy
biggest
doesn't
problem
change,
is-
it's coming.
they're not having the conversation even. That's the biggest problem in the U.S., right? It's not,
Well-
hey, we're not making laws, or we're not moving levers. They're not having that honest conversation about, hey, where the future of crypto should be, how they can leverage it for the average American citizen. They're not even holding hearings about it. So
No,
that's how
right
far
now-
behind we are.
And it's not just the US, but right now it's a lot of governments, and they're just at that point right now where it's how can we hold on just till the next election and pass this problem on to the next person in charge. No
We're
one
gonna
wants to
continue
fix it. No one wants to fix it. It's just kind of, let's get my floaty and we'll just stay here bobbing in the water for a bit. Oh, we're floating. Oh, it's getting a little wavy, but election's coming. And then that's
Yeah.
his problem, right?
We're going to continue to hold on to the "In God We Trust" paper money that we got. In God we trust.
All right, gentlemen, what do you say we shift away from the politics and get into the meat and potatoes of the current crypto market?
I thought we were here to celebrate.
Yeah, well, it's got to, you know what?
It's buying season now.
Yeah.
It's no longer waiting season. It's today officially started buying season.
Yeah, well, and like we talked off air, there's a lot of people, myself included, we've already got our bags full, and this is kind of a boring period. Today on the DGens weekly on Twitter Spaces, Char was discussing a few things, and we're going to continue that conversation here on anyone, you know, that's kind of in this.
He's having some connection problems right now. He's coming in and out, so we might have
Okay.
to be patient
Well,
for chart.
No problem. I'll show some charts here while we're waiting for him to get things sorted out. But yeah, we were discussing on Spaces today on things people can do during this, you know, crappy sideways crab walk that Bitcoin is doing, and while the alts are getting destroyed. But yeah, Dip, if you want to, let me pull up my chart here.
Okay, let's
Show everybody. We'll show the rainbow chart first, and then a few others. And then I'll go into the fear and greed index as well.
All right, let that load up. There we go.
Okay, so as everyone can see that fine. This is the rainbow chart. We like to refer to it every now and then just to see how we are doing in the current market. That is not my pride chart.
I do believe the people watching can only hear crazy, so Juan's comments aren't going through.
Good. Sorry about that one. Anyway, everyone, you can see the screen here, the rainbow chart. The last bull market is here, and currently we are in still cheap zone. We were almost heading into the hodl zone. The price was getting a little bit overheated, and it finally came down. So yeah, we're still in the still cheap zone, or wait around and see what's going to happen. The next chart I want to show is the new pull, and this shows also the prices in black, and then in blue it kind of shows the net realized profit loss of anyone holding. And we started getting up there in the upper band of the belief zone, which is getting eerily close to euphoria. So this pullback was a good thing. We've kind of reset. We're back down right on the border of optimism and belief. And then I'll show the MBRB. Where are we? Here we go. The MBRB score. And yeah, we're nowhere near. I mean, anytime you get up in this pink zone here, which is anywhere between 7 and 9, and of course beyond, like in the last bull market, we're nowhere near that. We're not even at a 2 right now. So lots to go in the bull market. No worries there. And then the last one I want to show, good old coin market cap, just to show the fear and greed. We're currently at 45. So it's neutral, which I'm surprised. I thought for sure we'd be down in the fear, but we're not. But I mean, the higher that gets, the worse off. It just means that a correction is coming, and that's been down in the 40s. It even touched in fear a couple days ago, but it's back up to 45. So that's good. I know it's boring, and people are a little bit annoyed, but you got to remember the last bull market, we did the exact same thing. I believe we had 92 days before the halving, and when the price action started going up, and we're right around that now, maybe another, like I mentioned last week, another week or two. But because we did hit an all-time high before the halving, it could change things a little bit. This is a little bit of a different cycle simply because of the institutional money that's involved. But yeah, I guess it's a wait and see. You can take that down now, Glenn. That's all the charts I'm going to show for today.
All right.
Because most of them are just sad. A sad bunch of charts because like you might as well look at them and cry. I mean, as we're talking, right, things are just dropping. BTC is at 57.2, and I think the bottom on that is about 48,000, which all makes sense, right? Because that was our old resistance, right? That we have to turn into support. So yeah, I think probably this is where the summer is going to land and hold. With alts, you're hoping that it's just completing its wave 2 formation, which is normally the higher low, right? On a larger scale. If you're holding a project that's not performing a higher low, God help you. But for the most part, everyone that's holding, you should be looking at those things and hopefully they are positive. But yeah, it was a good segue almost to the election cycle, because I think crypto is most likely going to pump into the election, just like last time we had that in 2020 when Trump was being elected. So was it Trump? No, Trump was trying to get elected again, and then we ended up getting Biden, which doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it was the cycle that we're looking at, and we had positive outcome with Bitcoin where it front run all the altcoins, and we had the surge into January, right? Which I remember to this day because it happened so quickly. We're like, don't tell me this is the bull run. We fucking waited 3 years for this, and it wasn't, because it was front running all the other alts, right? And we allowed ourselves to have like 4 or 5 months worth of runs up until about May, and then we had the summer of death, right? Where we had pretty much a lot of things blow up in our faces, including Luna, right? Luna started the shit show, and then we went from there. So yeah, there's still lots to go. Just please don't look at any altcoin chart right now. Just don't.
No.
It's pretty set up there.
Like you mentioned on Twitter Spaces today, the best thing that people can do is just kind of, close your portfolio, go touch grass, enjoy the summer. I was looking back at the Bitcoin chart back in 2020, the last bull market, and we're pretty much doing the exact same thing. Summer was boring. It was dead. People kind of left the space and there was nothing going on. But then as soon as early fall hit, late summer, boom, blast off, right? So who knows? We could do the same thing this time around.
Yeah. Well, even Black Hat was saying in the chat that BTC is at a 2-month low, but there's interest being shown, so let's get ready. But I don't know. I'm still in the same position I was last week, where I think it's going to be around the election time when we start seeing some action.
Yeah, you could very well be right.
Yeah, we broke out in September 2020, right? That was the so like at the tail end of September, just into October, we broke out,
Yep,
right?
that's where it
So
began. That's right.
I talked today during our spaces, October is the bullish month of the year. Out of the last 13 years, 11 years, it was all bull, and so the percentages are on our side, right, for that to happen again,
Yeah, exactly.
especially in the
Especially within
election year. So you
the
add
election
another
in
hook on
November.
top of
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
But talk about a good summer to dollar cost average into all your favorite projects. Like to take
absolutely.
Yeah.
advantage of all these positions right now. Like, okay, instead of panicking like on a day like today where Bitcoin goes below 60 and breaks that floor, like I honestly got excited. Like, all right, yeah, I could actually put some cash into it, right?
I'm a little bit torn. Like I got excited to see Bitcoin do that because the longer we chop, the lower we go, the more explosive move we're going to have. But on the other hand, I'm mostly invested in alts. I hold very little Bitcoin. So anytime Bitcoin goes down, great for Bitcoin, great for the market overall, but alts take even bigger hit, and
Yeah, but
that's not very exciting.
that's a bigger opportunity as well because you know that they're going to follow Bitcoin back up when Bitcoin has its
Yep.
run, right? So
Yep.
all in all,
I
it's
think
opportunity, not nothing to be scared of.
yeah. And you had mentioned earlier, Dip, before the stream that these are great buying opportunities, but the problem is the economies in both countries, US and Canada, are so bad. Nobody has any money to spend.
No,
Anything that
exactly.
anybody had to afford to invest into crypto, they've already done it.
Yeah.
When we had the dip 3 months ago and 2 months ago. So now there's no more money to go. So people are sitting back going, now what? So
Side
that's
hustle
why
season.
side
Side
hustle.
hustle
Yeah.
season.
Well, that plays right into what Chart and I were talking about earlier on the spaces. Chart, did you want to elaborate a little bit? We'll go into that maybe.
Hustling, eh? Hustling with your prized tokens. Yeah, yes, put them to good work, right? I mean, yeah, you're holding these positions. Your bags are very, very heavy, and they're not earning you any money, right? So you can put them to good use. Find liquidity pools that will benefit your bags in the long term, right? Look for good pairs, like we mentioned today, like Jupiter, let's say Marinade, Jupiter and Tensor, Jupiter and Sol, right? Put those pairs together, let them work, right? Because at the end of the day, you'll be making not only trading fees, but possibly more of one asset than the other.
Mhm.
Say you want more Sol, so just then hopefully Sol outperforms the other pair, and so you could do that. I'm personally going to put a whole bunch of money into staking rewards. So any project like Polkadot, like higher yielding, I think Moonbeam as well has a pretty good yield. Anyone that's giving me a good annual percent, I'm putting money into that. So hopefully that's gonna, just keep me going, keep me interested in things that I need to, keep focus on before we blast up. Because in the next 6 to 8 months, that's kind of like what you think you're gonna accrue, and maybe you can put that into good use for any plays that come up at any time.
Yeah, essentially it's DCAing free. Like you're not actually putting any capital of your own into it. For
Exactly.
myself, I like what you said there about the projects that you have faith in, that you have, your resolve that they're going to rebound. Like for me, for example, well, Solana, it's always been Solana. I've been a Solana lover for a long time. It's no secret. Um, so I've got that in an LP pool with Jupe. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm earning fees on that, and then, like you said, one asset or the other, whether it increases or decreases, doesn't really matter to me because I believe in that asset. And then I'm also Injective. I'm actually staking Injective because I believe it's going to do well this bull market, and I'm getting Injective in return. So instead of my Injective just sitting there doing nothing, I've got it staked and I'm earning more Injective. So it doesn't matter if the price goes down, if the price goes up. I'm still earning. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You want to try to have more of whatever asset you believe in your bags. So we were also mentioning.
Before you get there, I got
Oh,
a
sorry, go
question
ahead.
for you, Crazy.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, when Solana went up to 200, it went from
Yep,
being your redheaded stepchild to your darling.
to my darling. Right.
Is it back down to being a redheaded stepchild, or you still in
No,
darling mode with them?
no, it's still my darling. The only problem is she now has OnlyFans, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to hustle. So,
Yeah.
she's not very happy about it. She's a little bit embarrassed, but you got to do what you got to do in these downtimes, especially when Bitcoin takes a dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. OnlyFans, you can't knock it. Make some money.
What I would say though, I think, and I said this earlier off stream, a great opportunity for people to kind of reflect on their portfolio, see what's working for them, see if that choice that they made 6 months ago, 3 months ago is panning out for them today, right? And if not, make some moves. Definitely with chart. Good time to kind of go in and get into those things that will pay you back or help you DCA for free. Just do some math, right? Because a lot of them, nothing's for free, right? If you DCA into something or you get into something or you stake into something, there's always a fee or penalty when you come out. Or if you come out too early, come out too late, do some simple math and you can figure out if it's worth that risk or not. Because if you plan to be part of that bull market in October, plan for that. If you don't plan to be part of that bull market, maybe staking may not be for you. So those are things you got to kind of reflect on before you move forward. But good stuff, guys. Really, things that help a lot of people.
Yeah, always make sure you check all the details, because you're right, there are some fees, but a lot of the good staking, or sorry, a lot of the good tokens, the good projects, their staking criteria. Some of them have a vesting period or unstaking period, but the good ones don't. And also, like for example, I just use Injective as an example because that's one of my biggest staking positions, other than Jupiter, and then liquidity pools, Jupiter, Solana. And what was my other one? Sui as well. But the good ones, there aren't any fees, or at least they're not very big, especially on the Solana network. They're very minute. But you're right. Yeah, make sure you check all the details out first before you just throw it into something, because you're right, you could end up with less in the long run. But one thing I wanted to mention, everyone keeps on saying when the bull market comes, Don't mistake it. We are in a bull market. This is just a what do I want to call it? A bearish time in the bull market. Yeah, a bearish trend. Exactly. Thanks, Tip. So don't mistake it. We are definitely in a bull market. We're just in a bearish trend right now. Char, did you want to add anything to that?
Go ahead. I was actually going to say, on another, we're talking about things that you could possibly do. I know it's a very much degen move, and if you got the time and the patience and everything else, there's always the opportunity to chase market liquidity too, right? Like there's so many Reddit groups out there and everything else, and just a group of people that are pumping and dumping and moving liquidity around the market and everything else. Like that's, if you got a small amount invested, you want more, do your research when it comes to that stuff. And like obviously we've been in the space forever, so it's more of a weight situation on our end. But I'm just trying to think for people okay, I got $100 invested, I want to have 500, 1,000 by the time things pick up again in the fall, say. It's a good way to make quick gains. And
do me a favor, Dip. Can you pull up Black Cat's last comment again? I just want to answer that. He mentioned something about his pools.
Yeah, he says he wish he had pulled his Crown Sol LP and his Jupe Sol before it got out of his window.
Yeah. Can you put it up on the screen? Can you put that comment up on the screen?
No,
you can't?
It's not set up for that.
Oh, okay. So it came up automatically. All right. Black Cat, just to touch on that. I know a lot of people that were in liquidity pools and were following what myself and a few others were doing. They're probably out of range now. Just look at it this way. This is the way I look at it. Yeah, you may not be earning fees if you already had a position, but just look at it as now it's just a spot position. It's not going to reduce in value other than the price action, obviously, but you're not going to lose anything in fees or anything. It's just sitting there in a spot position. The other thing you can do is, once we kind of maybe hit a bottom, or what you think is a bottom, just make sure you do your TA and your due diligence. Then you can always rebalance, because I know for me, I've got two of my pools that they're out of range. With the way the market has been, I haven't trusted the price action, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to go up or down. It all depends on the granddaddy Bitcoin. So they're sitting there as spot positions, and it really doesn't concern me. To me, what's the difference of having it on that DEX or in my wallet? It's just as safe. It's gonna go up and down based on price, just like it would if it was just a spot position in my wallet. So I'm gonna wait until we have hit a clear bottom, and then once that happens, then I'll rebalance and away we go. Now, my message. What's that, Dip?
Better to wait it out, because right now it's an unrealized loss, and
Right.
the second you pull out that liquidity, now it's a realized loss where
Exactly.
patience will put you back.
Exactly.
And then he just that's why he didn't pull. Those will pull through, learning as I go.
Learning as I go. Exactly. And my message to anyone watching this and might be freaking out a little bit, if you watch any big influencers, either on Twitter or on YouTube, all of them are pretty much giving the same message. There's really nothing you can do right now. The price action is unpredictable. It sucks. We're in a dip. We're in a bearish trend. Just close your portfolio. And if you are in liquidity pools or looking to earn while we are low, set your positions. Be sure you set a wide range if you're in concentrated. If you're in staking, make sure the APYs are decent. Like right now, I mentioned Injective. It's currently paying 89% a year, which is great considering where we are. And my Jupe Soul position, I believe it's paying 102 or right now, not between 95 and 102. So set your positions and then just forget it. Close your portfolio, enjoy life. You maybe pull up the charts every now and then, but if you're one of those that keeps on opening up your wallet or opening up your positions to see how much more down you are, you're going to drive yourself insane and you'll end up panic selling. So don't do that. Just close it. Know that it's not going anywhere. The market will be there when you get back, and just enjoy life, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy the weather, and everything will be here when you get back.
Yeah, everybody's got crypto apps on their phone that's invested in the market, and when there's a big move, you'll get a notification. You don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
I think without advocating for any particular platform, it's also a good opportunity to get into those lending platforms. I think people are looking out for deals. You put up some collateral and get some interest. It won't cost you much. And at the end of the day, maybe you come up a little ahead than you were, and you can use that into October. So things for food for thought.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Another platform that does that really well is Camino. I've mentioned that before. We even have videos on the channel. They've got really good interest on borrowing, lending, and even their long positions on different tokens, and of course their LP pools. So that's another one. And the other thing I love about Camino and a few others like the Injective one is that they're automatic rebalancing. So you can just set your position, walk away. You don't even have to worry about it because it rebalances on its own. So that's a great point, Juan. There's a lot of different platforms you can use.
Thanks. I mean, I think it's imperative that people look at all their options and take advantage of it. Like I said, the market right now is flat, but there are going to be those who see that flat market as an opportunity to take advantage of some low sales out there, right? So I think Solana's a good buy, even though it might go a little lower. I still think it's a solid buy. Blue chips right now, a solid buy. So if you see something you like, you believe in, that might be a way to go. And then at the end of the day, keep your eyes open. It's one of those times where you can learn a lot during this type of market. See what the trend is and take advantage of it.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that because when the bull market first began and the price action started going up, I attack the way I invest into LP pools and lending and staking differently than when I do when we're in a bearish trend. Because you have to have a different mindset, because that way you'll be prepared to take the most advantage. So right now I'm in a bull market, a bearish trend, bear market type scenario where my ranges are wider, and you got to change your strategy depending on what the market is doing.
100%. But the ability to recognize where you're at plays a huge role in what you want to do. And
that takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Totally agree.
Yeah, that's a skill you have to learn, and it takes a little bit of time. Chart, you've been awfully quiet.
I'm depressed, bro. I'm totally depressed. I've been looking at some charts while you guys are talking, and I'm like, man, it looks so bad.
Depressed or hungover?
No, not even close. I actually wish. Speaking of that, I got to go to LCBO because they're on strike in a couple hours. But no, seriously, like the
You are
charts look
Canadian.
so bad. They look drunk to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just looking at different things and see whether or not some of the positions, midterm positions, I have to get out of because it's honestly looking really bleak. The reason why I say this is because there's certain levels on the chart that are key levels like trend lines and support lines, and they're just getting broken
Yeah.
right through.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that because that means the run up is going to take a while. So for things like, I'm looking at Velo, for example. Normally I wouldn't even give a damn, but I'm like, Velo just broke through a key level and it's looking like it's going to head down. If Bitcoin takes everything down to 48,000, there might be like a sick wick all the way down to like 0.003 or 2. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm deliberating whether or not I want to take out 20%. Even
Another
though I
one
have the
that kind of
capital on the side, I don't know. I'm going to think about it.
Another one that scares me, just like Velo, is Layer AI, which is another one I know that you're a fan of. Yeah, I saw that chart yesterday for the first time in weeks and weeks, and I wanted to cry. I closed
Yeah,
it.
it's
You know,
actually terrible. It's completely
it
terrible.
is. There's no way around it. Like there's no sugarcoating it. Every single chart looks like ass. And I know you're our go-to chart resident, but you know what? It's all bullshit right now. I don't want to hear it because it's garbage. That's it. All of them.
Yeah, all of it
Garbage.
is garbage. So the thing
All of
is,
it.
it's like I never try to sugarcoat any setups because at the end of the day, we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
And so, like my biggest hope now is that a lot of these plays actually do stop at head and shoulders necklines. So hopefully we'll see some kind of a rejection at those levels. But I think if we do have any like crazy bearish activity, and if it does happen to be July, um, it will have to feel like a 2020 drop,
Yeah.
right? It would have to feel like let's grab a shitload of liquidity out here and then springboard,
Yeah. Well,
because like
that springboard
I'll
is
be honest with you guys, like I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart,
yeah.
just Bitcoin itself, and the weekly looks like garbage.
Yeah.
Like I want to
Is it a
call it a
double
bull
top
run
right now?
garbage.
Yeah. I was saying
Monthly
to
monthly as well looks kind of terrible now, which I really don't want to see. Normally, a weekly we could kind of worry about later, but honest to God, monthly is starting to worry me because we have this pinching action on the MACD, which I don't like, and hopefully we can kind of resurrect that, and by having like a really good run through the election cycle, and then maybe we have something, but um, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to.
It's
Yeah, I don't want to sound so negative, but I have to be realistic too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, we have to be honest with ourselves. And you're right. I was looking at the monthly as well. The only saving grace on the monthly is that we haven't breached the 200 MA, which is good. But on the weekly, we did. Currently, we bounced off it last month, but now we're below it. And yeah, I'll be honest, it's not looking pretty. And who knows? By the end of the week, we could have this massive wick, and we're above it again, because we also fell out of that zone that we've been watching, or at least I've been watching, which was from the all-time high at 73,000, all the way down to I guess 61, we'll call it. We were riding in that zone for the last 4 months, and we broke out of it this week. So it's not looking good. I mean, we have to shoot all the way back up to over that 61,000 to be able to say that it was a fake out, but we'll see what happens by the end of the week.
Yeah. To
Yeah,
be
so we have how many days? Like 3 days before the end of the week.
3 days, yeah.
Right, today's technically over, so
Yeah.
we have 3 days left. For that candle, the weekend to be any bullish, that means bulls have to push right now to make that wick seem reasonable. Because right now it looks very, very bearish.
Oh, it's
So
a
if
full,
it closes,
it's a full candle. Yeah.
exactly. If it closes that bearish, we're gonna have next week as a blood week.
Yep.
Like expect like drawdowns everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you got to do is just close your eyes, right? Close your eyes. Come
Yeah.
back in 2 days.
Whip
Right?
your
Come back in
phone,
2 days.
cry, and then
Exactly.
yeah,
Come back in 2 days. Don't worry about what
Yeah.
happens on the drawdown date,
that's right.
because a lot of these guys that they're preying on this kind of drawdown are hoping they can catch these wicks, right? And so they're going to be playing the market. They're going to try to liquidate people. They're going to play games. They're going to put up walls. People are going to try to sell into very illiquid order books, and you will have these crazy wicks everywhere. So it's a day that you want to skip. if you're not into that kind of stuff. Like
That's
I've been a
it.
part of some crazy drawdowns where like I remember ETH was flying down to like $20 and $15. I was like, oh my God, we're going to zero. And then all the whales come back up and then eat up all those orders, all those sell orders, and we were back up again. So this will happen again. It's happened many, many times already. Right.
Yeah, and that's
So
what I
be
was just about to
prepared.
say too. Is we don't have any new liquidity in the space. It's all existing liquidity that's been around. So when you're seeing moves like this, it is whales trying to shake out somebody to take advantage and buy that lower price. So that's a positive thing in my books because it means there is going to be a rebound. Where if we just finished a retail bull run with all these new people just throwing cash at Bitcoin, I'd probably be getting ready to hit the sell button myself, right? But right now, no, it's a buy button for me.
Way to kill the mood chart, right? Way to kill the mood.
No,
No.
Sorry,
it's
you
not,
know,
no, it's
we have
real.
to be realistic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's real. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to what's in the market right now, it's just existing liquidity being moved around and a shakeout in my books.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't look like it's a lot of volume either, right? So that's one of the key things we look at as well. If we are having red days and it's a lot of volume, no,
Mhm.
we're not.
I'm just looking at the Bitcoin chart now. Sorry to cut you guys off. Right now, right this second, we are at where we found support back on May 2nd and where we had the initial breakout up to 73, up to the new all-time high on the 28th of February. We're at that exact price right now. So, I mean, this could be a support zone. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is on the daily. So we've been at this zone twice already this year. So we'll see what happens.
All I know is when I go to
We
the
ain't gonna hold
store
door.
and I see something that I like. Yeah, all I know is when I go to the store and I see something that I liked on sale for 20% off. So the last time I was there, I look at that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to. And like I said earlier, the only piss off about that is a lot of people they're already fully into the market. You know, they've got all their positions, their bags are full. They have no more to put in, so it's kind of a wait and see. And for those
Hurry up
people,
and wait.
yeah, for those people, just walk
Well,
away.
the good thing about all of this is actually, we'll eliminate most of the meme coins and all the meme plays, right? Because at the end of the day, like people that are making these new meme coins, they want to be internet, which means they'll rug faster, which is actually good. People will be disinterested. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. My liquidity is very scarce. I'm not putting more money into something that's going to be completely gone. So I think this will expedite the meme season, so to speak, to be non-existent.
And yeah, I'm kind of hoping when we do pull out of this, all that those billions and billions of dollars of liquidity that went into memes, they actually go into legit projects this time, and maybe that'll set us up for the next leg.
NFT season.
Well, yeah, we mentioned that today on Spaces that the NFT sector hasn't really flourished this bull market for one reason or another. And I think, like Chart alluded to, that a lot of people that are in the memes are also into NFTs. Kind of they go hand in hand. So a lot of liquidity that would normally go into the NFT sector, NFT projects, went into meme coins. So yeah, that was kind of memes did bring in a lot of new users and a little bit of adoption, and it had its day, but enough's enough. Let's end the meme season and let's go back to real crypto.
Yeah, you can even find staking options in the NFT space too, right?
Yes,
put what you
a
got
lot.
To work,
yeah, yeah.
Put what you got to work and just wait it out and
get yourself a
cool.
Degens. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Unfortunately though, I think that we need to continue to do what we're doing. When I'm looking over the rug pulls year over year, it's up 112%.
Mm-hmm.
So that means, again, what we're doing and making people aware, I think is still a necessary good in YouTube and in the space that we provide, because I think that they still, people still getting rug pulled, and we need to get that number down. right? And we need to stop people from the rug pulls, and that's just going to lead to more liquidity for us and for the space and for what we want to accomplish. So
Now, Juan, that rug pull stat that you mentioned, is that including all the meme coins, or is that you're talking the NFT projects?
that includes hacks and rug pulls.
Okay, so including memes.
Yes.
Okay.
All of it.
See, that number's kind of inflated then, because meme coins this time around, this bull market, are thousands % higher than what they were last bull market. So I mean, that's kind of a skewed number, because meme coins and rug pull, they're kind of synonymous. You almost expect it at some point that a meme coin will either rug or go to zero. So with so many meme coins on the market, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. You're bound to have, that % of rug pulls go up. But you're absolutely right. That number does need to come down. And education and awareness is the way it's going to happen. But when it comes to meme coins, I mean, how much education can you really have? You could be, the best crypto trader ever, know exactly how to protect yourself from getting rug pulled, and yet still get rug pulled, because memes are memes, right? If that's what you're going to invest in, you got to take that risk. It's very high risk, and it's a gamble. Basically, it's gambling. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, and it's fine, because you're 100% correct. Education is going to be key. The good news is, though, that the poll does kind of separate which ones went to zero because its time went out versus an actual rug pull where the liquidity just was stolen.
Okay.
So it does. Obviously, you're right. It's still a little higher than it should be, but again, I think people were also just excited that the bull season is finally here. Wanted to put money into it, and again, take advantage of whatever they can get, right? Obviously, there's always going to be winners and losers, even in rug pulls. So again, education is going to be key, and I just hope that again, just with anything, do your own research, take your time. Patience is key, but too much patience is also a bad thing. So
yeah,
you got to have that balance, and it just comes with experience.
Yep, absolutely right.
All right.
I gotta say, I absolutely love seeing us talk about this market falling while people can watch it live on the ticker at the bottom of the screen.
They can watch the drop in real time. That's amazing. It's like, oh, look at that. There goes Bitcoin.
Yeah.
As if they couldn't be more depressed enough already.
Yeah, they're watching the stream and
They're like,
down 8%,
oh,
down 9%.
BCH. I never knew BCH was a thing still. Down 20%.
Oh, SHIB's down 12.8.
Gotta love those alerts from Coinbase, right? 5% down 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
No, and every day is like a percentage down, 2%, 5%, 6%. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I turned my notifications off for crypto.com because I was getting a little bit pissed off. That's all I was getting is down, 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 down.
Well, not just that, because they have these small intervals. They give you like an alert after 2%. I'm like, listen, 2% is like 0.1% in traditional markets. Okay, don't give me that. Give me down 20%. Then something drastic happened. Give me down 2%. That's like 2 hours ago.
I had mine set actually at 5% swings, and I was still getting 15, 20 a day.
Exactly.
Enough.
Just a quick alert for our audience. We have been in crypto for a while. We love what we do. Again, we believe that this is a strong bull run for this year.
Yeah.
And we believe that it's going to continue. However, for those of you with different tolerances for how much losses you're willing to take, this is not advice. You're more than welcome to say, you know what, this is my tolerance. I need to jump off ship. I'll rebuy later, or maybe not at all. Just, we're definitely bullish, but this does not mean that we want you to hold on until you hit zero. It's okay. You can live to fight a different day. And that's what kind of want to put that out there for all our viewers.
Now, what I'll add to that is we always preach to make sure that you do your research, and the best advice we can give, or best I can give, is invest in things that you know are solid. They're going to be around. They have utility. You know, they're good projects that are going to, you know, stand the test of time. And the other thing is never invest more than what you can lose. I know it's a cliche. We say it all the time, but there's a reason for that. It's in times like this. So let's say 4 months ago, you invested money that you didn't care if you lost. If you know, it doesn't affect your life if it goes to zero. Now, 4 months later, you know, you're down, obviously, but you're less stressed because it's money that you already, you know, written off. It's not money that matters to you. So it's a little bit easier when the market is down for those types of people. But for those that get in thinking, oh, I can double, you know, 2x, 3x my money in the next couple of months, then I'll pull it and then I can use it for whatever you need it for. That's the wrong way to go about it, because then you're going to be stressed every single day. Only invest in crypto because it is speculative. Only invest money that, you know, I mean, nobody can afford to lose money, obviously, but if it's something that, if it's money that you know, if it goes to zero, if you lose it all, it's not going to ruin your life. That's the recommendation I have.
Totally agree. Again, you know, we've been talking about it for a while. I think over the last, if you just, let's say you just touched Bitcoin when in January, I think you'd be up about 30% by now. So I think that there's always going to be times to buy and sell, and it's cyclical. Again, do your research, take your time, and all you can do is make the decisions based on your tolerance.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
Never be afraid to take profits when things are good. Yeah, one of the worst mistakes I made getting into investing is, all right, I'm at a peak. We're in price discovery. I'm going to hold it to another 1,000, and then the market turns on you. Like, people are all, it's human psychology. People are always going to take profits. So when you do have a gain, it's important to take a little bit of profit off, and then when there's a correction, put it back in, and then you continually dollar cost average, and you're always in a positive position regardless of what the market's doing.
Great advice. It's a tough one too, though, Dip, because I know one of the strategies that I've learned being in the market now, my second cycle, is I do have zones or targets where I will start taking profit. I know it's a double-edged sword, because you know you have a strategy, which we always recommend to have a strategy, whether it be onboarding or exiting the market. And one of the ways to, or one of the strategies that I have to exit the market is I do have price points. So it's funny that you say that, because you could have a perfect strategy to exit the market, but it may not work out. So you always got to, be prepared to change your strategy and just kind of follow along and adapt.
Well, don't overcomplicate things either, right? Like, you can sit there and be super strict, but profit's profit.
Yep.
Like, if you're constantly in the green, there's always going to be corrections. You're never, and this is going to go on forever. Like, there's no rush right now to be making 100x, like, because you'll be laughing in 4 years about being worried about this dip right now.
When profits, when 100x.
Yeah.
You know, I
4
would
years,
say
4 years.
For me, especially when taking profits, right, and when you're considering it, don't fall into the price psychology. What does that mean, right? People are on their phone. They see they're up $300. They wait to 350. They wait for those double zeros. Oh, once it hits this number, I'm out. Instead of looking at the chart, look at the chart. And if you at 278, it's okay. Pull your profit. You don't have to hit 300.
Yeah.
You know, it's a number thing, right? And it's like that with charts. Sometimes you see a rejection at the price of 298, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, the price is gonna keep going down. Or you can see it break 300, and the price is gonna keep going up. Same thing with your profit. Don't fall for that psychology. It's okay to pull your money out a little earlier or a little later. It doesn't have to end at 0.
Yeah,
I think what we'll do later on in this bull market dip is we'll have one of our weekly streams. We'll actually discuss different ways to exit the market and different ways of profit taking, because I think it's something very, very important, especially when the bull market is in full flight and people are already 4, 5, 6x up on their portfolio, they definitely have to start thinking about taking profit. So we'll dedicate a whole stream on that, and hopefully listeners will, kind of devise their own strategy from information that we give on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's later in the bull market, though.
Yeah. Oh, look, crypto's so fast paced and moves so much from day to day that people start looking at, they start forgetting the value of numbers. Like everybody wants that 1,000, 10,000x, this, that, and the next thing. But you forget that with patience, how many multi-billionaires have been made in the traditional markets making 8 to 10% a year.
Yeah.
Like it's all about how you compound it. It has nothing to do with how much something moves overnight. Just be long term, and hey, if you're going to get a 10% and take some profit, like that's good. Especially in like an economy like right now. Like take that 10% and then when there's a correction, buy at a lower price and then wait for to take that 10% again, right? Like it's
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too that a lot of people that are crypto investors, they've never invested before. This is their first time dipping their toes in the investment world. So, and crypto is a lot different than TradFi, as you know, as we know. So it's kind of a learning curve. You learn as you go. The longer you're in the space, the more you understand, and the better decisions you can make.
You know that your perspective on it is so spot on. Like if you just think about the biggest blue chip Bitcoin, and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just take $100 when it was at 15K and buy it weekly. That's it. Take $100 from then till now. Where would you be?
Way ahead.
Way ahead.
Yeah.
Way ahead. And it wouldn't have cost you much than just investing in something. And then maybe even say, oh, I'm going to take a partial profit. I'm going to take a partial profit every, at the end of every quarter. You'll be way ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or on any, $5,000 candle to the upside, not a bad idea to take a little bit off the table.
100%, right? There's so many different ways to look at how to take profit, whether it's ATR, like you said, every 5,000 candles, whether it's just every quarter, there's just a lot of ways to kind of look at it. And I think, you're right. I think that we do need a little quick show on, different profit taking opportunities, because it doesn't need to do, you don't have to wipe out your portfolio.
No.
Partials are fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And also, I believe that it depends on the asset, the type of profit taking you do. For example, if you're heavy into Bitcoin, you're clearly not going to pull, a large portion of it out as you DCA out as the price goes up. But if you're in, we'll bring up a meme coin again. If you're in a meme coin and it shoots up 5x, well, hell yeah, you're going to take a heck of a lot of that out, keeping a little bit on the table for any additional pumps. So it depends on what asset you're in as to what kind of profit taking you do, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, I think we'll do last
right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, any last words from you gentlemen before we wrap up this stream? Chart, what say you, my friend?
Get a lot of Kleenex next to you over the next 2-3 months, because you're gonna have to dry those tears, because we're gonna get to a spot where we're gonna be really, really upset with us, with ourselves actually, because the market's not gonna be forgiven, and our only hope really is the election and the October, November, December months at this point, because I'm looking at everything. I mean, I think August is gonna be fine, but it's not going to be as fine as everyone thinks. I think it might be just a bounce month, which is like, thank you for nothing,
Yeah.
So, hopefully you don't look at your portfolio as much. If you need help, trying to navigate this lull that we have in crypto, by, putting your assets to work, like we talked about it, putting it into staking, putting it into liquidity pools, just reach out to any of us. We can give you some advice.
Perfect. Juan, what about yourself? Any last words?
Oh, of course. Enjoy the summer. 100%. Don't turn off your crypto notifications. The HODL. Through your blue chips. Look back at what you did. Learn from your mistakes. It's going to be a great summer, regardless how things turn around. And I think that at the end of the day, it's only money. It's only money. That's all I can say.
And Trump for president. Okay, Dip. What about you? Any last words?
Well, after today's stream, I was just thinking, our panel here has made me feel very fortunate to be a Bitcoin maxi. I know a year ago they were teasing me and I was a boring Bitcoin maxi boomer, this, that, the next thing. But I'm not finding this too bad right now because I'm not holding all these alts. So I guess it goes to show that there's something for every type of investor out there.
True story. All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for joining us. This was a good stream. This was a lot of fun. I like this open forum. We're going to continue to do it every week, every Thursday, 7 p.m. there and abouts, between 7 and 7:15. Don't forget, anyone that's listening, to join the DGens Weekly as well on Twitter every Thursday at noon Eastern. Great conversation there every single week. And then we usually continue somewhat on the stream here Thursday evening. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
See you later.
Take care, guys.
USA, USA, USA.